Hello and welcome to another video, and this time welcome to the inside of the van because the weather outside is rubbish. Today I wanted to talk about bum bags. Not because it's cool to talk about bum bags, because it's not cool to talk about bum bags. They were cool when you were 6. But I want to talk about them because in the last video we talked about what you keep in your pockets, and to me your bum bag is like a pocket extender. For years I've carried full backpacks, and you always fill it with stuff to take out with you every day. You don't need half of that stuff though. But with a bum bag, you can take that every day and you're not getting a sweaty back. And it's just easier on your shoulders when you get older, like me. So yeah, my bum bag is simple as that, just worn around my back. So I'm going to talk about what I keep in it, just to give you an idea of why I carry it, not especially because I want to talk about the items in it. Just I think that they give you an insight into why I think bum bags make sense. And I've got a fair few bum bags, much to my wife's disdain. But today I'm just focusing in on this one because it's the one that I always wear. So it's a bit of a organizer pouch for me as well, without having to keep an organizer pouch in your pocket, being all bulky. So yeah, I don't think there's a great deal more I want to say because it's a bum bag. So I just want to get into the video and tell you about it. So that being said, this is Van Life in a Transit, and today we're talking fanny packs, bum bags, whatever name you want to give it. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Thank you. Right, so let's dig into this, break it apart and see what we've got. The bum bag in question is the Helikon-Tex Bandicoot. It's pretty much your standard size bum bag. If I remember rightly, this one is about, I think it's just under 3 litre capacity, to give you an idea if you're wondering what you could keep in any different bum bags. I'm talking about a, call it 2.7 litre one today. I got this one from Military First just because I liked it. I saw some good reviews on it, went for it, and I've had it about 18 months now, and I've had no problems with it. All the stitching's held up and stuff. All I've done to it, I added, because it comes with these little webbing loops each side at the bottom, so I got a spare bit of shock cord off a bag I was throwing away or something, and strung along the bottom, so that when I'm out walking, I get hot really quick, just turn into a sweaty mess. So this is just so that I can hang whatever outer jacket you've got, just hang it underneath the bum bag, and you're not having to carry it. So yeah, simple little thing, just with a pulley toggle doodad on it. I put one of those cheap molly clips on that side. That's for a reason. That is because, again, as you probably guessed from the channel name, I live in a van. So a lot of my stuff is camping based, I suppose you could say. So a lot of the time I've got leather gloves, and having the little loop on the side just means that I can just hang my gloves off it when I'm walking without having to carry them again when I get hot. Apart from that, this side got a hero clip. I'm sure everybody knows what a hero clip is and all the uses for it. I know it's a bit of a, shall we say, scene EDC item, but I wanted to try one last year. So I got one, so probably exactly a year ago. It was around my birthday last year. And I've never ever used it to hook something from a tree, but we've got a little dog. And we like pubs. So, you know when you sat outside a pub on the wood slat table and chair, picnic tables? That hook is wide enough that way to go around a slat in the picnic table, and then you can clip the dog's lead to that. Yeah, so she can just be wandering around while you have a pint. That sounds like a silly thing to keep on your bag all the time, but you'll forget it if it's not on your bag. So yeah, a hero clip, always, and I can't afford more than one of these, so this goes on to every different bag that I have, depending on what I'm using that day. this side, just a little glow fob, but it's really, really good. I haven't been outside today, but we'll see if it works. So I'll turn the light off. Yeah, not bad. So the reason I keep this on here is, again, going back to living in a van, I use this a bit like an organiser. So this lives in a certain place in the van all the time. So at night I might put my wallet and all the important things into it, so that we've always got one bag that we can grab. So having this, I've never needed to find it in the dark, but it's a nice little thing to have on, and it works. So going back to visibility, sorry, we'll get onto the inside of the bag soon. But on one of the zip pulls, just got one of the little magnetic lights. What's it called? There we go. That is the iMini 2. So no switch on it or anything. It just turns on as soon as you pull it off the magnet. So it's a nice thing to have. I think that's it for the outside of the bag. Yeah. So I do wear this as a bum bag. I can't get down with the sling bag around the front of your chest thing. Part of that's because I've got a beard and it looks a bit stupid. But I don't know. I think I'm at an age now where I don't really care what people think. And it's really nice and comfy to just have a bag around your waist. Nothing on your back, nothing on your shoulders. And you forget that it's there. So yeah, I wear it as a bum bag. But the strap does go plenty big enough to, if you're a really big fella, you could still wear this crossbody as a sling. So to start going through the pockets, obviously on the front you've got this hook and loop patch with the Helikon badge behind it. But the front pocket, I keep kind of empty. Because like I said, on a night I might put my wallet in here and things like that. So at the moment, poo bags. Is that it? Yeah, so that pocket is always empty. So if I do put something in it while I'm walking around, I'm not losing other things out of that pocket. And obviously, being a bum bag, being only that big, anything you put in that pocket or in the back is always going to take away from the amount of space you've got inside it. So let's go on to the inside. Right, so this bum bag, I have it as an extension of my pockets, just so I can carry a bit more. Everything I need to have on me is in my pockets. But having this with me means I can just carry that bit more. So inside, like I said last time, I'm a smoker. I've got my tobacco tin, lovely old Altoids tin. Don't need to go into that. And then the main reason I went for the Helikon bum bag was you get this organiser, part of it. So I'll rip that out and then it's a bit easier to show you everything. But just before I do, so when I open the bag, you've got space in there. You couldn't really fit any decent sized water bottle in it, but you can put like the pack away waterproof jackets, the little slim ones. So yeah, so that can fit in there, or a shamag, or your gloves. So just something really simple. And then in the front, more poo bags. Be a responsible dog owner. Then we have a power bank, just a cheap thing. It goes without saying why you've got a power bank. I am not a person that needs to be on my phone all the time, but living from a van, it is important to me to always be reachable for my wife in case she gets in trouble when she's out with the dog, or vice versa. I never want to be out of contact when you don't need to, because you can just carry a little power bank. So this is just a little 10,000 milliamp hour, so it's enough to put a bit of charge in your phone. I don't need it to power the world. In there, silly thing, spare tampon, because everybody knows it. part of carrying a lighter, for example, you can help someone out. And if you're married, like I am, one day you'll be the best husband in the world because you've got that in your bag when she's having a panic. So a tampon, not for firelighting, literally to plug crimson flows. Another bandana. This one's really clean. This was bought just for this bag. It's a clean hand towel. It's something to wipe a camera lens or bandage the dog. It can be anything. We all know the reasons, and it takes up no space, and it makes a bit of padding for the power bank without putting it in a case that's useless for anything else. It just protects everything. So that can just go in there and you've got something useful. So get into the main spare lighter in every bag. So going into the main part, so that's everything from the front pocket and the outer front pocket. So coming back to what I was saying, I bought the Helikon bag because it comes with this organiser. The smaller one, the possum, I believe has this kind of organiser in it, but it's fixed into the bum bag. Whereas on this one, it's an actual rip out panel. So I'll just move the bag to the side for a second. So having things this way means that if all I've got with me one day is a backpack, then I can just pull this out and I've got most of the stuff that I have with me in whatever bag I use, or if I go to a different bum bag, I can just pull this out and slot it into another bum bag. So I won't go into too much detail on all the bits in this, but to start with, so we've got a lighter and a ferro rod held together with a little bit of inner tube. So that's just emergency fire stuff. Again, more of a camping life for me, not really important if you're walking around Manchester. Next to that, so this is interesting. So, the plastic tube that you have in the middle of some dog shit bags, when you run out of bags, you get this little, can you tell what I'm saying? That this black plastic tube, I've just wrapped a load of orange duct tape around, and it makes a nice little dispenser and keeps it nice and compact in your bag. So I thought that was quite a neat little thing. And then looped through the centre of it, there's 3 zip ties. So I thought altogether that is a really handy little thing to have. So I'm not one to wrap tape around every lighter I've got and do that survival thing, because then your lighter's too bulky to actually carry in your pocket. But doing that, I think it's nice and elegant. So moving from there, these are important. So these are tick tools, tick removers. So it turns out they're not just for the dog, because while me and my wife were in Spain, both of us have found ticks like on your hip or on your tummy. So I don't know if you've seen these. You get them in a little pack of 2, and the green ones seem to be best. I think each company that makes them has their own colour of plastic they use, but the green ones do seem to be best. So you just scoop it under the tick, twizzle it, and the tick comes off, and then you can, well, obviously kill the tick. But it's quite important if you've got a dog and you're outdoors. Ticks can carry some horrible shit. So next to that, got a hank of paracord. Again, kind of goes without saying. Not in a super survivally preppery way. So all I've used this one for is you can make a longer line for the dog. So if you go for a walk in the forest or through a park and you want to sit down but keep an eye on the dog, you can just extend the lead with this. Or we've used it to quickly make like a washing line outside of the van just to dry out wet clothes when you can't be bothered going in your camping bag to get your big hank of paracord out. it's worth just having a little piece. I think that's about 10 feet. So nothing silly, doesn't weigh anything, but quite a nice thing to have. Behind that, there's one night eyes, what are they called? Twist ties. The only thing I use these for, really, I've never used them to tie things together, but you can make a little S-hook for hanging things, and obviously hanging things, but a useful little thing that again weighs nothing. And if you're carrying a bum bag, you might as well have something like this in it. Just, even if it's a cable organizer, worth having, but they're expensive for what they are, I think. You could just use the zip ties for anything you use this for, but everyone has different uses for things. Sound off below if anyone does use these, if you could tell me what you use them for, that'd be quite interesting for everyone to see, I think. So next is just a short USB cable. I'm finally trying to make everything I've got USB-C now. So yep, just a cord to go with the power bank. An emergency blanket. This is, again, more a van life thing, not something you're going to need very much if you're an urban EDC kind of person. But for me, it means there's something to sit on, or if the dog's freezing cold and you need to carry her home, you can wrap her up in this. Just worth having. Next, so this is from Temu or AliExpress. It's just an aluminium, what do they call them, a pill safe? Something like that. And it's not very big. To give you an idea of size, there's it next to a Swiss Army knife. So it's not huge, but I don't like little bits of stuff clinking around in a bag. I can't do with it. But so in this, right at the top, there's a fexofenadine tablet, a hay fever tablet. I have waterproof matches, again, outdoors thing. And I keep Gorilla Glue in here. Obviously, lots of people might want to carry super glue, and this sounds ridiculous, but I use it for my teeth. I knocked a lot of teeth out when I was young on a Vespa, and yeah, I use this stuff to hold my teeth in. So for me, I need to have that with me, or else I'm putting myself in a really embarrassing situation. So yeah, little tubes of super glue, but again, you'd want to carry that in something hard so that it doesn't get crushed and get super glue all over your bag. So yeah, a little cheap pill safe, and it's waterproof, so you can keep the matches in it without worrying. So I'll add to the side. Right, next we have, and again, another redundancy. So this is Right in the Rain pen. That's going to focus. No, there it is. This is brand new to me. I got this from my father-in-law. So this is now living in my bag. So I always carry a notebook in here, a Right in the Rain notebook that we'll get onto. But I've had no joy with keeping a Sharpie in my bag. They seem to dry out really quick. And a lot of normal cheap biros I've snapped in this bag, like Bic biros and things. So this, I think, should be a perfect one. And unlike a space pen, well, my space pen anyway, I carry a brass one in my pocket, but it's quite heavy. But the plastic Right in the Rain one doesn't weigh anything, so I'm happy for that to live in my bag. I've got something to write in the notebook with. So I'm happy with this. I think we should all look at these. And they look expensive, but you get 2 in a pack, apparently, for less money than one space pen. So if you're not bothered about having brass or something posh for your pen, what a great little thing. And it writes, I think it writes a little bit nicer than a space pen. Yeah, Write in the Rain pen. So obviously the pen is to write in this notebook. But this notebook, I mentioned in the last video, I don't really write in this notebook. I won't open it because the point of this is, living in a van, you don't have access all the time to your laptop and all of your documents. So in this book, I write down things like the insurance policy number for the van and the van's VIN number and our passport numbers and the dog's passport number and addresses and passwords and logins. So all the information that you don't really want to keep in your phone, which you can do, but I like to have a hard copy of things. So yeah, a Write in the Rain notebook, and I wrapped gaffer tape around it so that I could make it into a little bit of a wallet at the back. So then in the back, this is getting a bit geeky and silly again, but again, I really enjoy the camping side of what we do and the kind of bushcrafty side, and I also want to be the one to look after my wife and be independent that way. So in here there is a couple of firelighters, steri strips. A lot of time I just use tape if I cut myself, but sometimes a steri strip, well, it's always the right thing to use, but yeah, keep them in there. A piece of Band-Aid plaster, that's mainly just for walking and getting blisters. These are just some of the water purification tablets, just cheap ones. These are the ones that you get in like an army ration pack, but why not throw them in? Because this bag isn't big enough to keep your water filter in or something like that, but you can keep some tablets. Then a spare bit of cash, and that is it in there. So yeah, that notebook is a bit of a Bible of our life, and I write down part numbers for the van in there. When I've found something else that's broken, I can jot the part number down in this one, and there's no chance of losing it. So that is the notebook. So multi-tool. This, again, I'm in the UK, and it's really hard to find a multi-tool that doesn't have a locking knife. But Next Tool brought out is it the Black Knight, I believe? And I don't know if a lot of people have bothered with Next Tool multi-tools, because it's just obviously a Chinese brand, but it is actually well made for what it is. And the biggest thing with the Next Tool ones, I think, is the decent set of scissors. So I keep this in here, just our van's not new and I'm always messing with things, so having a set of pliers is handy. And I have found that one set of pliers isn't really great, because if you're trying to get a bolt off, that's all well and good, but not if the nut on the back isn't captive. So if you're trying to undo a nut and bolt, you've got to have two pairs of pliers, one for the nut, one for the bolt. So yeah, that is the Next Tool Black Knight. That comes with a bit kit as well, by the way. So on the end of the Phillips, you bob on, and then you've got a bit holder. It's a bit awkward because I found the only way to really use it is to do this and then twist. But yeah, it means that you can put the bits that you need to have with you. So for example, for me, every couple of weeks I've got to take the MAF sensor or the map sensor off and give them a clean out with contact cleaner. So having the bit ready to go is nice. Obviously I've got all the tools in the van, But if you're just in a car park and you want to quickly do it, you can just, quickly grab your bum bag and you've got everything you need. So to go with that, like I said, I've got a pair of Knipex. I can't remember what they're called. Is it Cobras? Obviously, every EDC channel in the world has talked about these, and they are good. But I will add that, like for me, the Hero clip is good for holding the dog. Everyone talks about these being great for as pliers. I find more often than not I'm using them as a pot grabber to pull a pot off a fire, or a pot off the trangia. So they are really good little things. I don't understand who would ever need to grab something that big, but they are great for what they do. Yeah, so actually, all the people down in the comments, if you've bought some Knipex after watching everybody's videos about them, what do you think of them? Genuinely. I'm glad I have them. I think they're worth it. I don't know if they're as great as everybody says. Yeah. Drop a comment below, see, and try and talk me into something else. Because at the moment I'm thinking Irwin do a little tiny set of vice grips, mole grips, the same size. So I'm thinking about giving them a go because they're only about £9. Yeah. Yeah, let me know what you think below. And I think we're getting there. Last thing I keep, irrelevant for lots of people, I've got a carbon beard comb. Because I've got a beard, there's not a lot to say. Nice little thing, but it's a comb at the end of the day. So that is the main stuff that I keep in my bum bag. So to bring it back, oh, there is one more thing. In the back, the pocket that sits against you, this might seem strange to a lot of people, but I think it's worth talking about. So in the back, so this takes up no space, it's just fabric. I have got just a tote bag, a shopping bag, carrier bag, whatever you want to call it. Just one of them jobbies. A musette, would you call it on the continent? This one's Ossett Brewery. You should all try Ossett Brewery's Yorkshire Blonde, my favourite beer, and the town I'm from. But I use this bag a lot. So, like I say, I've always got the bum bag with me if I go into town or for a walk or anything. So in town, you'll end up buying something you didn't think you were going to buy. You've got a carrier bag with you now that you've got to pay for carrier bags. And if you're out in the forest and you find a load of birch bark, you can collect your birch bark. And you can even just... We've got a smallish dog, not a silly dog, but a terrier. And if needs be, she can sit in this. Not comfortably, but she can sit in it well enough that you can carry her home if she has a problem with her feet or something while you're out. But it's a really easy thing to keep with you. And then you're only carrying a little bag, but then you've also got extra capacity should you need it. So that's my thinking. So that is me talking about a bum bag. I've been waffling on for nearly half an hour now, so I apologise and thank you if you've got this far. And I will get all this put back together and I'll bob back on to say goodbye in a few seconds. Cheers. So that's it. Once again, I hope that was useful to somebody. That's all I really want from these videos. I don't want to just waffle on about rubbish. I want to give a bit of an insight into things that you might find handy or useful, or it makes you think about something. So again, please feel free. Let's have a chat in the comments. I'm trying really hard to get back to everybody, and I'm really enjoying the idea of it being a bit of a community, like a forum, but with something specific to talk about. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a weird subject, but I did think it made sense to follow on from the last video with this one. So if you have got this far, thank you so much. And I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed and commented, because I'm enjoying doing this. So I'd like to keep doing it. So yeah, all that being said, thank you again. Really appreciate everyone watching this and everyone talking in the comments. It's going so much better than I thought it possibly could. So I appreciate it. Thank you. So I will see you next time. Hopefully I'll be posting again next Thursday. I'm going to try and do Thursday evening every week if possible. And in the meantime, I need to fit a Charger 1 to the van to try and get a little bit of electricity in Scotland, because the solar doesn't work because there isn't any sun. So yeah, doing some electrics. Thank you so much for watching. See you in a bit. Bye.